if you're famous at 15, you're a different person at 40. I was famous at 40, so fame didn't define me.
Did it change you though?
Well, it made me probably, it changed me in the sense that, no, it didn't change me as a person, but I was more wary of the world.
Recently tweeted, "Stupid people are my favorite," which I totally believe that they are.
Stupidity is funny. It's funny. Stupidity mixed with arrogance is even funnier.
You're the third comedian I've heard say that.
Oh, really?
Sarah Silverman said it before, and Zach Galifianakis said it too.
Great.
Stupid people who are arrogant about their stupidity.
Yeah. Everything from people who say, "Ha, can't wait to see you burning in hell." I think, you idiot. Why are you going to get to see, what are you, and arrogant with it? You're making a fool of yourself.
I always loved that fantasy of dressing up.
Yeah. I think that people can express themselves through fashion. That's kind of a gift of communication.
That's
you know
true,
what I mean?
Yes.
And I can think only of a few people who do that, like you. I think you're really good at communicating who you are through what you wear, which is, I think special. Is that something you do consciously? Do you
I
sometimes
think I am a
that's what I wanna
communicator.
express?
I mean, obviously I'm a performer, and so it's the first level of communication. When I came around that corner and I saw you and your black hair, and you saw me in me kind of strange outfit,
Right.
we communicated already. Then we get a bit close, we smell each other. It's like animals, But it's kind of, these are levels of communication. It's totally true. I agree with that.
Do you think something changes? Is it going in a positive direction or more?
It seems like feminism or women's stuff goes in two directions at the same time all the time. It's like, it does feel a bit 2 steps forward, 3 steps back sometimes, Because all this other stuff going on, like, women in the public eye not being able to get older and constantly fighting weight battles and beauty issues and don't see any sort of massive strides in that area. To be honest, you see sort of gestures in that area, but you don't really see change.
That Fisher-Stevens thing that you mentioned in the New York Times piece.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So, how do you feel about being a role model?
Well, that's pretty crazy. I did this event with Nicky actually the other day, and I was talking to her, and I was saying, like, we made that montage at the beginning of that episode where it shows, like, all the stereotypes of Indian people in a row. And I told her, I was like, it's crazy, like, you couldn't even find Indian women. Like, they were nuts. And she was like, yeah, it's pretty nuts. And it's crazy that, like, people that look like me and her are on TV, because when I was growing up, I didn't see anybody, much of anyone that was, like, well-rounded. And I do think it means a lot to kids when they see that. I was talking to a friend of mine that's Asian, and we were talking about the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, like the old ones, like from the 90s, like Secret of the Ooze. And in the beginning, there's a scene where there's this kid, the pizza delivery guy, like, beats up all the guys, and he was like, that was a big moment for me.
The Rosenberg interview.
Oh yeah,
the
I
radio
know.
interview, and you said the ultimate musical experience you made was working or being in the studio with Lauryn Hill. Can you, do you remember
that was one of them. Yeah, that was a crazy like whole month, and meaning like just another situation. We're working with the artist of that caliber. Like her music has such an impact. And it's so powerful, and it affected people.
the thing about ultimate experiences is that it's cool when you're in them,
Yeah.
but afterwards it's a little sad because you go like,
Yeah.
oh, I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
everything
you
else.
got it. Right, exactly.
Do you have anyone else on your bucket list or anything that is like?
I don't know. I used to. I feel like I used to, like early on, but now not so much. I kind of look at everything. I guess in this day and age we live in, it's everything moves so fast. The internet and music comes and go, and people don't really digest things or sit with things for a long period of time. So I think everybody's mentality and everybody's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Everybody's attention span is like just short. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I've become one of those people to a degree where like I don't really have any one person in particular, one or two people in particular I want to really work with.
Is that sometimes a conflict being a gay activist and being a comedian? Because there is like this culture of offense in comedy right now.
Yeah.
You know, comedians are so attacked by saying things that
Yeah.
are not politically correct. Do you sometimes feel that you have a conflict in these like two
I feel
positions?
that because of the gay activist that I am and who I am as a person, you know, standing before you, that it's much harder for the politically correct police to point at me. So,
Right.
which is great because I can use that then to talk to them about how fucking ridiculous it is to, let's say, this is my favorite, the argument that a lot of very left-wing feminists, dyke feminists have about trying to change the spelling of the word woman to get rid of the word man. You know, they want to spell it W-O-M-Y-N, or my favorite is W-O-M-B-E-N, woman. Right. I just want to hit her. I just want to punch her right in the face. It's like you spend all this time arguing about how to spell this word when, how to spell woman, when one's being raped right there. Do you know what I mean? Let's talk about what's important and let's deal with what's important.
Right.
You know, and let's deal with the word police later. You know, words are meaningless symbols. It's our intent that behind that word that gives that word its meaning, right? And sometimes we get so hung up on that that we're forgetting what the real important issues are, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh God, I was
That
really
was
enjoying
really
that
nice.
too.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. All right.
Shoulder pads. Right,
Yeah,
awesome.
I do.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I'm rocking my 80s
That's cool.
style
I like
today.
that. I mean, the Rolling Stones don't even own Paint It Black.
They don't?
They sold it. They needed the money,
Okay.
and they sold it on, and they don't even own it. And I don't own a copy either, and I bet you don't either. You know, we don't need to. We know it. It's just
I think I do actually.
on your iTunes or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe you know. I mean, it's just we all own it already. It's
Yeah.
like we all own it.
Yeah.
I got asked to be part of an all-female horror anthology.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit
Sure.
about it?
I just got a call one day. So I was here in London going to see the new Star Wars, which I hadn't seen any of the other Star Wars, so I was a little bit lost in the woods, and got conned into dressing like, I don't even know what, because I don't know Star Wars, like a druid or something, some sort of character. It was totally humiliating. And so
And who made you do that?
Cara made me do that. She was Jabba the Hutt. It was very cute. But that actually was really hilarious. Trying to see her get in and out of the car as Jabba the Hutt. So stupid, so funny, cute.
What if a journalist asked you, was that song about Cara?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been asked that question, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have.
Do you answer it?
Well, the truth is, the answer is yes and the answer is no. The song for me is a composite of a lot of people.
Can I tell you what I felt when I listened to it?
You can tell me what you felt.
Well, despite, being a complex listening experience, because it felt comforting.
Oh, that's good.
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about how you feel
Yeah.
about that?
About this as a response to your music.
Oh, comforting. I think that's nice. Yeah. It's comforting for me, But it's funny, so many people, even over the last 5 days, have told me so many different reactions. Someone in Amsterdam said it was a really sad record.
Oh, okay.
which I don't think it is, but there are sad themes. I think it's just honest. Company is what it is to me, I guess. So you win.
I'm interested to see this kind of new sort of wave of feminism that seems to be happening, and I think it's something that I feel passionately about, and I enjoy seeing these discussions being had, and the fact that it seems to be in the consciousness of people at the moment, and I'm really pleased to see that.
Is that something that you kind of encounter a lot in interviews and things like that? Do people talk about this a lot with you in particular?
Yeah, sometimes they do, yeah. And I'm always happy to talk about it. And I wasn't always happy about it because I always didn't understand why I was being asked about it at the very beginning, and then I kind of realised that almost, because I do encounter these, the stereotypical situations sometimes that a woman does in a male-orientated workplace.
Quite a political person.
I don't mince words.
And you've always been a promoter of some of the more prominent movements, I would say, like, minority rights, gay rights, body positivity, feminism, of course. How do you feel about the state of society? Because at the one hand, there have been so many achievements in the past years, yet at the same time, so profound setbacks and all these issues. How do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel crazy.
Right.
But I also feel motivated and inspired. I feel like we can't. It gave me a new lease. It gave me It woke me up in a way that I was taking things for granted. That I shouldn't be taking for granted, and that like you can't forget those fires that are inside of you. In my Instagram account that I don't do anything but post pictures of cats.
Listen, I was looking at it, and I tried to do this looking at it as somebody who doesn't know that you're an international superstar and somebody who has been on magazine covers and stuff like that. And
My
then
family.
I thought, this looks like just some cool chick from Portland with really cool friends, See how I did that?
This guy in the vitzes. She's got all the vitzes.
Right. It was amazing meeting
What was
you.
your name again?
Osia.
Asia or Sia?
Oh, Osia.
Osia. Oh, that's
Yes.
really pretty.
Thank
OCIA?
you. OSIA.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
And what about nostalgia? Is that an important inspiration?
It's funny. I think it is often for me. I mean, I really kind of avoid nostalgia in my day-to-day life, but I do find it something that I can feed off of when I'm writing lyrics. But it's kind of depressing, I feel like, nostalgia. I worry that it'll get me depressed.
Okay.
Yeah, like I avoid going through the junk drawer. You have a junk drawer in your house?
No.
Like, I have like a drawer that's just like stuff I didn't want to throw away, but reminds me of
Like
something.
love letters and stuff?
No, like
Pictures?
Oh, just like I have shit from when I was a kid, like marbles. When I was a kid, I have a matchbook that I got on a vacation with my parents. Somewhere, just junk that I can't really throw away.
They sound like happy memories, though.
They are, but the fact that they're gone makes you melancholy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I avoid the junk drawer.
If people are critical with your art or your music, does that bother you, or is it, in the grand scheme of things?
It can, I avoid. Yeah, it does bother me.
Yeah?
So I avoid reading the reviews and things.
Okay.
I do. And like I said, even if they're positive, it makes me feel self-conscious.
That's it.
Well, cool.
Thank you so much.
Good questions.
The idea of a female rapper right now is pretty much based on what Nicki Minaj is doing, Iggy Azalea is doing, and that's completely different from what you represent, I feel.
Yeah, it is completely different to what I represent. I'm glad that that's a lot of people can acknowledge that and not sort of just box me in as a female rapper. And
that means that I'm in the same category as Nicky and Iggy because we're all girls and we all rap. It's not about that. They express different things and they have different messages and different stories they want to tell, and I have different stories I want to tell.
I know it's a little bit cheesy to ask that, but I thought it was the perfect gateway.
It's okay. Well, none of the songs really talk about death in any literal kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the songs kind of hover around this theme of transformation.
Do you feel more exposed with it? Like your inner thought process? Is it more exposed with this album? You know what I mean?
It's funny to say that talking about things beyond myself would be somehow more revealing.
Yeah.
But I kind of think it's true.
Do you actually like living in the now?
That's a good question. I don't know. Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. As much as anybody, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Has there been a better time for music?
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody always thinks it was better back when they were younger because it was so new to you when you're younger, and it affects you so much more. And there's so many things you don't know and so many possibilities. And watch probably a film every day, and at least probably once a day or probably every other day.
Okay.
Maybe depends what I'm doing, but on the road it's like every other day.
What did you watch yesterday?
I watched a couple of movies. I watched John Carpenter's first film, Dark Star.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen it?
No.
It's weird. It's like a student film he did. It just was on the bus.
Okay.
I watched that, and I've been watching this what's it called? Nymphomaniac movie.
Mm-hmm. How was that?
I'm on the second part right now. I'm not finished
Okay.
with the second part. I watched the first part. I'm on the second part. I'm not a film reviewer. I don't want to tell my opinions about films.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch a lot of films.
I would like to talk to you about your relationship with your character on Orange is the New Black, Sophia, who's one of the most beloved characters, I would say. Also because she's one of the nice ones, right, in the whole thing. So tell me about it. How do you feel about her? What's something that you really, really like about her?
I love that Sophia, it just gets on with things, and she's making the most of this prison thing. I mean, I think she understands very clearly that she is in prison because she was fighting a healthcare system that did not that accommodate her having access to become more authentically who she was. So she did what she had to do. And trans people have been doing what we have to do for decades to gain access to life-saving healthcare.
Muslim girls, that's huge to have somebody like you know?
Yeah, because it's like a new thing, right? I think for me, like, I don't see it as a new thing because I've been doing this for like 9 years.
Right.
So when I first got into the music industry, I was already like wearing the hijab, you know? And then like, yeah, it changed a little bit. Like I started wearing the turban, which is more like I'm more comfortable with it. And I think it's cool to be able to be yourself. I think the main message here is not like, oh, you know, like I'm promoting anything like political or anything like that, but there's no political agenda behind me, you know, like I'm just doing music.
Why is that so important to you to sing in Arabic? Because you tour the world, you have like an audience.
Because it's, I mean, this is my emotional language. This is my emotional language. I started singing in the beginning in English, but you know what? I didn't feel the drive until I started actually with this Asmahan singer, Syrian singer. I fell in love with her, and she opened door for me. She died in the 30s, so but she opened doors for me because through her I started listening to all the oldies, and I started connecting her to a memory and to a past and to a place and to a beauty.
But there's also people who are critical about your approach. How do you feel about this? Do you think that these people misunderstand
Of
what you're
course,
about?
of course.
And why is that?
Because they never take time and talk to me. These people that criticize me has never said, let me talk to Cesar. Let me go and walk with him. Let me go and see what he does live.
Right.
You know? So it's a decision that they have made based on what they have heard or a video that somebody has shown.
What do you think their agenda is?
I think we're in the same boat of making sure we are loving to animals. Just sometimes they attach me to cruelty. You know, when
That's why I asked if it hurts your feeling. I know that sounds crazy. Like why
it doesn't
would
it doesn't hurt my feeling because I know what I'm doing.
Right.
It's part of character, you know, like all those, you see it, you know, again, in men in those movies where there's like in Cassavetes movies where there's like older men and they love the creases in their faces.
Right.
I want to be one of those women.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're just not used to seeing women's faces like that. So we have to like not give into it so we can get used to seeing it.
Yeah. But is that just a matter of age, you think, or is that generally not allowing women to have diversity, you know? Like,
all of it, but I mean, we're also not very, you know, we're not used to seeing women's faces like that.